James had never been the jealous type. In fact, he prided himself on how much he trusted Emily. They had been married for 6 years, and while no relationship was perfect, theirs had always been built on mutual understanding. They laughed together, supported each other, and never let insecurities creep in. At least, that was how it used to be. Lately, something had changed. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Emily had always been affectionate when she came home, kissing him on the cheek, asking about his day, sometimes even curling up next to him on the couch while they talked about mundane things. But now she barely acknowledged him when she walked through the door. Her greetings had become short, almost mechanical, and instead of throwing her purse on the counter and settling into their usual routine, she would head straight for the shower. At first, James told himself it was nothing. People's habits changed. Maybe work was stressful, and a shower helped her decompress. He reminded himself not to overthink, not to read into things that weren't there. But then, the excuses started piling up. She had always been punctual, never the type to stay late unless absolutely necessary. But now, she was coming home later and later, always blaming work, traffic, or last-minute projects. When he asked for details, she kept things vague, too vague. And then there was her phone. Emily used to be careless with her phone, leaving it on the counter, sometimes even forgetting where she put it. Now, it never left her side. It was always face down, always on silent, and whenever a notification popped up, she would glance at it quickly before tucking it away. One night, James noticed her smiling at something on her screen, a soft, secretive smile she hadn't worn in a long time. When he asked what was funny, she simply shrugged and said, "Nothing, just a stupid meme." His gut told him something was wrong. He tried to dismiss it, tried to ignore the creeping doubts, but they wouldn't go away. And then, the moment of realization came. It was a Wednesday night when Emily came home later than usual. She barely met his eyes as she muttered something about a long day at work. Then, like always, she went straight to the bathroom. James sat on the couch, staring at the door she had just walked through, his mind racing. Something compelled him to check her car. He felt ridiculous as he stepped outside. He wasn't the kind of husband who snooped. He never had a reason to. But as soon as he opened the passenger door, a strange feeling washed over him. The car smelled different. Not bad, just unfamiliar. There was a faint but distinct scent of cologne, one that he didn't recognize. His eyes scanned the seat, and that's when he saw it. A small smudge, almost unnoticeable, near the headrest. He reached out and touched it. It was barely there, but it was enough. James shut the door carefully, his hands trembling. He stood there for a long time, staring at the car, feeling something inside him crack. He wanted to be wrong. He wanted to believe that there was some innocent explanation, but deep down, he knew. That night, as Emily slept beside him, James lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He tried to convince himself to wait, to gather more proof, to be absolutely sure before confronting her. But every little change, every cold glance, every excuse played over and over in his mind. His wife was hiding something from him. The next evening, he didn't wait. When Emily walked through the door and went straight for the shower, he stopped her. His voice was steady, but there was an edge to it that even he hadn't expected. "Emily," he said, looking straight into her eyes, "we need to talk." She froze. It was only for a second, but it was enough. He saw the flicker of panic, the way her breath caught in her throat. And in that moment, James knew he wasn't imagining things after all.